What's up, guys? What's going on? Stefan Martinez here on the Solo Dolo. Um, Rocking out with you on this Sunday evening. We got lot to get into today. We're gonna get into the Rays and the Los Angeles Dodgers and what they got to do moving forward, and also the losing streaks, the subsequent losing streaks they were on before Tampa won today. But before we do that, we want to obviously let you know that you can also follow the show on YouTube and Instagram. You see it scrolling at the bottom. So give us a follow on both of those platforms. I'll be sharing this periodically throughout the show. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe, share button, do all that. And let's vibe out, man. Let's have a good time. I think we should start this in Tampa. I watched a lot of Rays baseball over the last maybe 7 to 10 days, and it just looks to me that you see them and you realize, like, it's one of those things where you hope you're able to um you're able to they're able to right the ship, and they're able to get going in the meantime and between time. But for me, what the Rays are going through is real simple. As you see this question at the bottom, should the Rays be sellers at the deadline? To me, that answer is a flat out yes. And I don't know how you guys feel about it, but to me, this it's a flat out yes. And I think that when you look at what the Rays are dealing with, and you look at what they've gone through injury wise, you realize, like, they should be selling off some pieces. Randy Arozarena is not playing at the level he was last year or even the year before that. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm, Stu Sternberg, if I'm, the general manager, Eric Nylander, and I'm trying to figure out where to go. Listen, this market, we obviously know it can't sustain itself. So what I'd like to see the Rays do in all actuality is sell off some pieces. I don't know what you guys think. I don't know how you guys feel, but if it were me, um I would seriously consider selling off some pieces due to the fact that, look at the division they're in, guys. You're in the division with the Yankees. You're 10 and a half games back of the Yankees right now, and it's not going to get any easier as the season goes on, especially if these teams continue to find their footing. The White Sox just got swept by the Orioles this weekend in Chicago. The White Sox are a mess. But the Orioles are going to keep playing well. The Yankees slipped up today, lost to the Padres, but the Yankees have been playing out of their mind. So I think it's one of those things that you just have to make sure that you're in the tough division. Toronto lost a heartbreaker today, and honestly, I think it's time to break them up as well. So if you're Tampa, and this is what I noticed about Tampa the last couple of years, and I don't know if you guys necessarily agree with this, but I do believe I want to see Tampa. I feel like they're behind the eight ball a little bit. It feels like they're not doing enough to sell off pieces. Like, I look at them and I'm like, yo, you know what? It may be time to trade Yandy Diaz. It may be time to trade Randy Arozarena. Like, Pete Fairbanks is starting to find his footing as the closer. He's been dominant over his last couple of outings. So it's like, at what point do we start to realize, like, it may be time to sell off some pieces and really start to put yourself in position to where, selling off pieces may be the thing that you do. It might be the thing that you do to get yourself going. Like, I really do believe at some point Kevin Cash and Eric Nylander and everybody in the race for an office has to have that, serious meaning about where we're going. The American League East is stacked. Like, we know where they're going. We know where they're headed. And it's just, I just look at them and I'm like, listen, you have some pieces. Pete Fairbanks is one of them. You could trade Zach Eflin, who's on the injured list. He was placed on the injured list a couple of weeks ago. I have it here actually. So you have 8 players right now. If you're the Rays, you have 8 players on the injured list right now. So at some point, you have to come to grips with the fact that this Rays team is not going to be able to contend with the beast of the East. And the unfortunate thing about it is it's only going to get harder because I believe, you watch the Rays. Listen, I was just looking at their numbers. I'm actually going to share this with you guys, which is nuts. But let's share this. Let's share this together like a family because I looked at this and I said, wait, I got to share this with the squad. This is nuts right now. So this is just a brief thing that I want to show you guys about the Rays right now and what it looks like at their current state. Look at this. Look at how nuts that is, guys. Let me show the screen so you guys can see. They're 10.5 games back in the AL East. 10.5. You see them there. Toronto's 12.5. But the thing I want to focus on, and we explained this last week, look at that run differential. That run differential is just incredible. Minus 47 runs. Now, you might think, well, it's early in the season. They could get it going. They can always get hot. But minus 47 run differential is kind of nuts. And here's the other thing that I wanted to point out. I was sitting there looking at this. Alarming stat. You want to talk about alarming? Here's alarming as we close this tab real quick. Here's alarming. Randy Arozarena is hitting as of Saturday. It might have changed now. But as of Saturday, he was hitting 189 and he was hitting his OPS was at 779. His OPS was 779 points below league average. Right? So you got a guy that's doing all this below league average. And I'm like, that's crazy. That is so crazy. And I think the thing that I take from it is, look, at the end of the day, guys, it's going to come down to this. How comfortable are the Rays with selling off pieces and realizing that you can't compete with this group. So what I would do if I'm the Rays, like they have done in the past, what I would do is try to sell off some pieces and get some top prospects in here and see what we can do. For example, I have the perfect trade. For both of these teams. For both these teams. If you're the Dodgers, you need a closer, correct? Well, how about we do this? How about I trade you Randy Arozarena and Pete Fairbanks, and you look at who are the top 3 or 4 prospects in my system. Maybe I even trade you Gavin Lux, who might need a change of scenery, and you could do that, and it fills your infield need, and you can also trade for an outfielder if you so choose. The Rays and Dodgers can help each other in this current moment because the Dodgers are desperately looking for bullpen depth. We're going to get into them. Oh, my God, what a weekend they had in Cincinnati. But at this point, you have to come to the realization that you can't do this by yourself. And at some point, we have to at least have conversations, whether it be on this show, whether it be other places as well. Hey, the fact of the matter is this ain't going to be easy for Erik Neander and his staff and the people he has to answer to. And here's the reality of the situation. The reality of the situation is you got out from guys like Chris Archer early, David Price early. You got out early. And with this particular group, I don't think he's gotten out as early as he usually would. So I think that you really would, it would be really advantageous. I think that's the correct word, to see if you can really turn this thing around, if you can really make it so that you can have these players ready to win the World Series at some point, and not even ready to win the World Series, but just contend in that division. All right. I'll take it back. The World Series is not optimal right now, but contending in that division is what your goal should be. And when I look at the Rays right now, it doesn't seem like they're contending in that division. And listen, the sad part is, and we've talked about this on the show, and I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but I'm just gonna say it, and we're gonna leave it right here for this particular conversation. Baseball doesn't work in Florida. Baseball doesn't work in Tampa, St. Pete, to be honest. It doesn't work in Florida, period. But I feel like Tampa, St. Pete is where you really start to feel like, yo, this really doesn't work. And I think at some point we have to come to grips with like, yo, dog, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Why are people continuing to at least have this conversation? Whether we move them into a new ballpark, if we build them a new ballpark, it isn't working. And that's why the whole conversation of expansion really bothers me. I know we've talked about this briefly, and we've had conversations on the show, but I never understood the idea of expansion, especially because it doesn't feel as if it's something that we should even be considering when two of your franchises, three if you want to throw in Oakland and a few others, don't draw. How are we talking about expansion when you have franchises that don't draw? I don't understand why this is a thing. I don't understand how this could be a thing. I don't understand the ethos behind this, right? And listen, Rob Manfred, you got bigger fish to fry, buddy, but that's here nor there. We can literally do a whole show on Rob Manfred, which I'm not going to do right now. What I will say to the Rays is this. You have to make the uncomfortable decision to just pull the plug on whatever you thought you were going to be this season. Because can I be honest with you guys? Can we be truthful like a family? It feels like the rest of the league has figured these guys out. It feels like the rest of the league has figured them out in terms of everybody's using the analytics now too. Everybody's using the advanced statistics too. It's not just you that has a leg up because you use these numbers, you use these analytics, you use these particular straightforward numbers. Not everybody can do it. So when I look at the Rays, I'm like, you're no longer ahead of the curve. Now you have to be able to deal with whatever comes. And what I will say is, like, the Yankees ain't going nowhere. The Orioles ain't going nowhere. The wild card round is going to be even tougher, because you got teams in there. Texas is in the wild card right now, technically. You have a bunch of teams that are still vying for things that are going to be in this wild card race late. And I don't think it's something that you should be trying to shoot for right now if you're Tampa. Well, you can say, well, technically we're 4.5 or 4 out of a wild card spot. Why can't we shoot for it? You can't shoot for it because if you don't get it, that's another year of hanging on to Randy Arozarena, who's going to turn 30 next season, right? That's another year of hanging on to Yandy Diaz, who's already 32 and showing signs of slowing down. You're hanging on to Pete Fairbanks, who's one of the best relievers in the game. I don't see where this makes sense. Help me out, guys, in the comments. Like, am I tripping? Am I going crazy here? Like, what are we doing? At this point, I would think, moving on from a lot of these pieces and trying to do it the way that you have done it, which is being proactive instead of reactive, has kind of put them in this weird position where they have to do something that they might not otherwise do. I think that they got caught slipping. They got caught asleep at the switch, and it's really hurt them. It's really hurt them because the last thing you want to do is put yourself in a position where you have to have uncomfortable conversations. I don't understand this. Maybe I'm off kilter. Maybe I'm off base in saying such things, but I just look at them and I'm like, even if you wanted to win, Um, even if you wanted to win, how realistic are you winning in this division in the next, I want to say what, 3-4 years? Baltimore's gonna be here for a while, man. If Juan Soto stays with the Yankees, you're gonna have to deal with him. Aaron Judge, the way Aaron Judge is looking, you're gonna have to deal with him too. You're gonna have to deal with these dudes being here for a while, and you're gonna have to find out, hey, what are we? You know, because at some point the opener you know what the Rays are. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but the Rays feel like a gimmick to me. They don't feel real. They feel very generic, gimmicky. We're just trying to hang on to something because we think it could be beneficial for us in the long run. But it doesn't feel like something that's just sustainable. You know, me and others have had conversations about this, and you know, we could talk about, you know, how baseball, you at least have to try, especially in this climate where, you know, we frown upon tanking, which is true. And you got to give the Rays credit. They've tried. They have tried. When most teams don't even want to try, they have tried. They're in every game. They're in most games. They're you know, they're grinding out wins. They're being productive. But at some point, you got to have that come to Jesus, bro. And it got to happen soon. Because the last thing you want to do is wait to the deadline. Speaking of waiting, let's get to these comments, man. We have at the end of the show, guys, there is a message from Ivan that I'm going to read. I didn't want to start the show with it because I just wanted to get to the topics, but he did send me a message that I'm going to read at the end of the show. So just bear with me on that. But let's get to these comments, man, and let's see what you guys are thinking. And I'm open for more discussion, guys. If you want to keep the conversation going, I'm here for it. The Rays becoming sellers at the deadline isn't necessarily a bad thing because they have always known how to make the best out of something that, you know, that's true. That's true. So I would think, listen, at some point, you gotta go to what you know to work. You gotta go what you know to work. And it just seems like they haven't found it yet. I agree with Ivan, and to add to what you wrote, can the Rays turn around prospects really? That's a good point, Rick. That's a good point. Like and you would think, but that's what they've been doing, though. That's been the Tampa Bay Rays MO for years. It's like, yo, let's get some prospects in here. Let's turn this around and let's see where we're at. And to know that they haven't done it is kind of crazy. There are teams who don't know that they don't have a chance to win their respective divisions, but the wild card means more than anything. Yeah, it's true. And you know, it makes teams feel like they're gonna hang around longer than they should. Because at some point you just gotta know, listen, it's not gonna work. Having a ballpark in Tampa would be great, you know. If it was Tampa, Orlando might be the best city for baseball. But Florida baseball as a whole sucks, though. I think that's an accurate statement. I think Wander Franco set the franchise back big time. Yeah, no, that's the other thing. Like, so you know they got to feel snake bitten. Thank you for bringing that up, Rick, because that's a great point. You know they have to feel snake bitten at some point. Like, at some point, this has to be a thing where they feel, you know, they've given out money. They've had conversations. They've thought, like, listen, this guy could be the future. Like, you know, they feel snake bitten because now the guy can't even get on the field. Forget about getting on the field. He may not be able to be allowed in America again. If you're the Rays, the gun shyness, the ability to just have to stay in a situation in which you don't know if it's going to work out, that must feel so crazy. I can't even begin to imagine what that's like. And to know, listen, it's not going to get any better. Because there's a thing here that I wanted to show you guys too, which I found interesting. The Rays are in the lower echelon of pitching and hitting, right? So think about this. As of Saturday, this was after Saturday's action. They had a 236 batting average. They ranked 23rd in baseball in offense with an OPS of 664, right? And they've given up 70 homers so far this season. 70. Think about that number. That is crazy. That is crazy. To give up 70 home runs, and we're not even, how long are we into the season? I looked at the numbers. I was like, yo, that can't be 70 homers. And we're not even 3 months in. What? The Rays viewed Wander Franco as another Evan Longoria, but he ruined the plan. That's great. Yeah, when you give somebody an 11-year deal for $180 million, I think you kind of view him in that light. That's a great point. But that's the volatility giving these guys money, man. That's what happens when you give a kid that's 21, 22, 23 years old, or in his case, 20 years old, that kind of money. You never know what these kids are into off the field. You never know. So I guess you got to proceed with caution and just hope that it works out. But if I'm Kevin Cash, if I'm Eric Nylander, I'm broken at the idea that these guys, I didn't even get my investment on a lot of these guys, like Jeff Springs, who they thought was going to have a big part of the rotation. He's not even available right now. He got shut down again. He was throwing at the rehab. He was throwing at the complex, and it's like, bro, we can't even get you on the field. But here's another crazy stat I got to share with y'all. All right, because we on crazy stat mode. Hold on. Let me get this. Hold on. Let me edit this bad boy. Let me get the scroll and saying that so you guys can see this. During that 6-game losing streak, they were 6 for 38 with runners in scoring position. They scored 14 runs in 6 games. How crazy is that, guys? 6 for 38 with runners in scoring position. And it took them till the 7th inning today to actually get a few hits with runners in scoring position. So if we did the math, they were like 10 for their last 45 with runners in scoring position. And scored like 18 runs in 6 games. How crazy is that? To know that that's even a thing. And I know offense is down around baseball, but my Lord. And you know what it also tells me too is like pitching rules the day, man. Pitching rules the day. These guys are nastier. They're throwing harder. It's just. I read that stat and I was bewildered. I was like, wait. This is a thing? This happened? Like, this is real? And I read the stat and I'm like, yo, that's just crazy. But real quick, look at all those guys on the injured list, guys. Zach Eflin, 2 to 4 weeks with a back. Colin Poche, with a back injury. He's also dealing with something. Just crazy, man. Crazy. And I'm just like, how do you survive all these injuries if you're a small market club? That's the thing that I would be sitting there going like, yo, this is crazy. How do you survive this? Josh Lowe placed on the 10 NIL, re-injuring his oblique. He came back off the injury list and went right back on after injuring the oblique again. Oh my goodness. And he's also dealt with hip and hamstring issues dating back to spring training. How do you deal with that? I don't know. Maybe you guys have better answers from me because I have no idea. I don't even know how you deal with that. I don't even know how we get to be able to even have conversations about what this team could be when they've been injury ravaged at very key spots, not to mention the Wander Franco thing that Rick brought up. So you want to talk about a franchise being set back? Yup. That'll do it. That'll do it. And I got news for you. I got more news for you. Here's the harsh reality. The harsh reality is they lucky they're in Tampa. Because if they were anywhere else, is wrecking ball time. Straight up, all you're gonna hear is this. If they were anywhere else, you would just be hearing. They'll be. If they were anywhere else, where you're in a retirement community, they be doing the funk flex out here. The roster would be destroyed. But since you're in a good community and they're not going to go crazy and you're in a retirement community and you get good ratings on TV, selling off pieces could be extremely difficult, especially when you have connections to a lot of these players. Juice balls at random doesn't help. The sticky stuff being turned banned doesn't help. The lack of player development and skills doesn't help. That like, and Rob Manfred lives in North Korea. Stop, man, stop. I'm not letting you do this, Razor. Stop. Be nice. But I'm serious. Yo, if you live anywhere else, they would have funk flexed your ass out the bill. Yo, dog. Yo, come get these dudes, bro. They out here thinking up the joint. Can you imagine? Look at what's going on with the Mets. Not to turn this into a Mets conversation, but look at what's going on with the Mets. You want to talk about exile? You want to talk about mutiny? You can easily be that. Boy, are they lucky they're in Tampa. Are they lucky they're in Tampa? Because at some point, I hate that this is even a conversation. I hate we're back here again with this particular franchise who we thought were getting it right. But I guess that's baseball, right? It's just a cyclical nature. It comes and goes. It goes in cycles. So, damn. But if you're a Rays fan, this gotta suck. Big time. Speaking of sucking big time, speaking about sounding the alarm here, talk about like help, like what the hell's happening? Let's do that again one more time for y'all. Yo, somebody send an SOS out for the Dodgers, please. Can somebody go get the Los Angeles Dodgers? They walked into Cincinnati and got their behinds whooped like some stepchildren. Like, let me just explain to you, right? Look at this crazy stat that I pulled out. And I'm like, hold up. We doing this? Met fans can... Oh, man. I'm not even going to read that comment yet, but like, read that stat. Read the crawl. Read what's going on here at the bottom, guys. Are you kidding me? The Reds was 6-20 in the month of May. No, 4-20 before the Dodgers came in. They were 4-20 in the month of May. The Dodgers come in and they sweep the Dodgers. And not only did they sweep them, but they made it look fairly easy. I'm not going to lie. They made it look fairly easy. I'm not going to lie. I was looking at the Dodgers going, yo, like, you got what? What do you mean? This is what we're doing now? Like, I looked at the Dodgers, I was like, wait, what? Like, it was bad. And I'm sitting there going, no, this can't be. Not the Dodgers team that spent $1 gajillion, and not the Dodgers team that's all this talk about World Series, but not you, not the almighty Dodgers. It can't. This can't be life, to quote the great Jay-Z. This can't be life, to quote Jay-Z. This can't be real. Like, so, and I'm looking at them and I'm like, hold up. Because you look at them and you're like, all right, maybe this is just a blip on the radar. But you know what got me thinking? You know what got me thinking? And this is what got me thinking. This got me really, really like thinking, like, yo, they might not be as good as we think. I know a lot of people say, oh, they're gonna win 100 games and they're gonna do this and that, but I don't know. I don't know how to feel. If I'm a Dodger fan right now, I'm kind of panicked. I'm kind of I'm flummoxed, man. Because you look at the Dodgers right now and you're like, yo, dog, this ain't looking good. And this was the swing, right? I'm gonna pull it up for you guys right now. This was the swing that told me it was gonna be a long weekend for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Let's pull this swing up, right? Because I want to have a conversation with you guys about this particular sequence right here and why, to me, the Dodgers are a very, very flawed baseball team. So we're gonna let this roll. We're gonna watch together as a family. We're gonna do this the right way. Jonathan India is up at the plate. He's been struggling. What does he do? Takes an inside heat piece and goes grand slammy. We're sweeping you guys. Alex Vesia, thank you for coming. Goodbye. Bomb. Bomb. Look at the emotion. Look at that play. Look at Cincinnati. They're going crazy in Cincy right now. And to think that this team has lost 20 out of 26 games in the month of May, I think that swing, it kind of encapsulates everything that we're looking at with the Dodgers right now. Middle relief is a disaster. I looked at that home run, and you know what I said to myself? I looked at that home run, and I just said this to myself. You know what I said to myself? I said, that's exactly what I said. Because I sat there and said to myself, yo, y'all not going to let the Cincinnati Reds come here and whip y'all like some stepchildren. This can't happen. And they did it. They did it. They whipped them like some stepchildren. Are you kidding me? I looked at it and I was like, hold up. Wait, here's another crazy stat. Here's another crazy bonkers stat. That's crazy. 0 for 22 for the weekend with runners in scoring position. That's the longest they've gone. That's the longest streak in 3 seasons. And this offense was supposed to be like omnipotent. They were supposed to kill people. Yo, what? Are you kidding me? 0 for 22? And I'm not saying, listen, this is no indictment on the Reds. They went out there, they played their game, they did what they had to do. But 0 for 22 for the majority of the games? You did not get one hit till the 9th inning of the game today when Freddie Freeman hit a double. You did not get one hit the whole weekend with runners in scoring position. Are we serious? Is this the team that I'm supposed to take seriously? For real? Because if I'm supposed to take them seriously, somebody let me know. And again, I'm going to say this, man. That pressure of trying to win a World Series every year, be in it every year, spend money every year, eventually it's going to get to you. Eventually we're gonna have to have some conversations about how good this team is, right? Like outside of the top 4 in their lineup. Look at Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman right now is hitting 284, guys. That is crazy. Freddie Freeman, the almighty Freddie Freeman, that's supposed to be this hitting whisperer. That's supposed to be this guru, is hitting 284 right now on the season. Just look at the bottom. Look at the. I have to show this. I have to show this because I saw this today and I was stunned. Look at Andy Paez, rookie kid, right? Just came up, 231 batting average. Teoscar Hernandez, 200 batting average. James Outman, not even with the team. Will Smith, 297 batting average. Outside of the top 4, they're not getting any production. Can you believe that the Dodgers are telling people around the game, yo, we need a bat? Can you believe that's a conversation around baseball? They're telling people they need a bat. Look at that. Look at the drop off from when you get to Will Smith, Freddie Freeman, from Paez to Outman, who's not even on the big league team. That's a drastic drop. That's drastic. And I'm like, yo, so this is the team that I'm supposed to fear? This is the vaunted Dodgers? Am I tripping? Help me out, y'all. Help me out in the comments. Tell me if you think I'm blowing this out of proportion. And Max Muncy is dealing with an oblique, and he was on fire before he got hurt. We don't know when he's going to be back. This is crazy. This right here, this is crazy. And I'm going to tell you, right? I'm going to tell you, we just let's look at the team. They're third in offense, right? Where are they in pitching? Let's look at where the Dodgers are in pitching. They're 8th in pitching with a team ERA of 3.42. Right? But you look at the Dodgers and you're like, yo, you guys are missing something in the bullpen. Because I look at them and I'm like, you need that setup man for your closer. Because their closer's been solid. Evan Phillips, 0.56 ERA, 14 games, 8 saves. He's been solid. They need somebody to get the ball to Evan Phillips. And they don't have that right now. Like if you look at this Dodger bullpen, there's ERAs that are all over the place. And even the starting rotation isn't great. Michael Grove, 5.51. No, the prize Yoshinobu Yamamoto, 3.5 run, gave up four runs today, right before the rain delay hit. Yo, dog. Yeah, and that's how baseball works. You spend all this money and you still end up with flaws. And that's why that loss was so critical by the Giants today. Not to sidebar this into another conversation, but that's why the loss today was super critical by the Giants, because I feel like, damn, you could have got to win within 4 back. Yeah, the Dodgers are coming in the Citi Field, but you could have got to within 4 back, and you blew it today in extras. If the Giants had held on to that win, if the Giants would have held on to the win, they would be 4 games back right now. 4.5 back, 4.5 back. When you'd have thought, oh, nobody's catching this Dodger team. What? I'm telling you right now, it's gonna get spicy, y'all. It's gonna get spicy before it gets better because I'm gonna tell you. You spent 1.3 billion on 3 guys. And to be honest with you, I'm not impressed with Ohtani so far this season. I don't know how you guys feel, but I think he's been okay. He hasn't been as good as I thought he was going to be. Am I off base in saying so? You can clearly correct me if I'm wrong. And I know he's dealt with some off the field stuff, but let's be real. And I'm saying that, and the guy has a 335 batting average, 13 home runs. You know what I'm saying? He's been good. But has he been like all world? You know what I mean? Like, I got to know. He's also been playing through some injury stuff too. Let's edit this and let's get this going at the bottom of the screen. He's been playing through some injury stuff too. Am I wrong in assuming that this guy is even as great as he is, he's having a down year? Because that's what it feels like to me. It feels like he should be. Mookie Betts is having the kind of year that I wanted Ohtani to have. Because it feels like Mookie Betts is carrying the team. Well, for $700 million, I would expect a little more. He's not hitting the ball out of the ballpark with regularity. Yeah, he's getting used to a new league, but there's been a lot of clutch situations. I mean, if offense is all you have to like focus in on, I would think I would be getting a little bit more bang for my buck. That's how I feel. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. We all have subjective opinions. Some subjective, some objective, depending on who you talk to. Listen, we're having this conversation, and the Dodgers are 33-22. They're still 11 games over 500. So the sky isn't falling, Dodger fans. Let's not do that. But let's just remember, you can't keep, at some point, the check is going to come due. Teoscar Hernandez, he got off to a hot start, but he's a streaky hitter. We know that. Freddie Freeman, he'll get going. We know that. Freddie's Freddie at the end of the day. But this pitching staff leaves a lot to be desired. Walker Buehler came off his third start since Tommy John. He looked good, but the offense only scored 1 run. And one stat that I forgot to put up here, before the game Friday night, that's a great point. I'm going to share all these comments in a second. That's a great comment by Razor. Nobody told the Dodgers to pay him $700 million. He's playing to play his playing his baseball bat. That's a great comment by you. I'm going to share all these comments here in a second. But you know what? A stat I saw before the game on Friday, I says, let me look at what the Dodgers are hitting against fastballs. They were hitting 195 against fastballs in the month of May as a team. I repeat, they were hitting 195 against fastballs in the month of May as a team. That is crazy. Like, if that doesn't get you to like, yo, what the hell are we doing? I don't know. I'd feel some type of way. I'm going to be honest. I'd feel some type of way. Because that means you're not and you're supposed to crutch fastballs with this lineup. And they're not doing it. And that Max Muncy injury feels real significant to me. At some point, you're going to need to get a shortstop or a third baseman. Like, you're going to have to invest in one of those positions. Their prospect capital is not what it once was, so they don't have the capital to go out and get a player if they so choose to. Kind of crazy. They traded so many prospects. Keibert Ruiz, the kid, a couple other kids they traded away. You know what I'm saying? Like they gave away a lot of depth. And right now, like Gavin Lux, he looks like a bust to me. I don't know about you guys, but he doesn't look like the same offensive dynamo he was before he got hurt. Maybe he rediscovers it. I'm hoping he does because I love watching him hit, and he's a lefty. Soft spot. Soft spot for them lefties, bro. All right, let's get to some of these comments real quick. Dodgers are proving something we already knew. Throwing money at stars doesn't win you championships. That's an accurate statement. I think the Dodgers have to do something extremely drastic. Andrew Friedman needs to resign so Ohtani to have a Ohtani reason to opt out. Front office blows the team up. Wow. Ivan with a comment, they spent all that money and the team still ends up with flaws. Now Ohtani's doing exactly what I expected. Ohtani's doing fine, just fine offensively. Nobody told the Dodgers to pay him $700 million. He's playing to his baseball value. He wanted to drive that point home. You see the all caps right there? He wanted to make sure we saw that. He wanted to make sure he knew that we heard his point. I hear you, Raisin. Now, we agree to disagree, but I hear you. I'm here for it. I'm here for the discourse. I'm here for the back and forth. Know what I mean? But yeah, the Dodgers, listen, they're gonna have a nice get quick right week. They're coming to Citi Field to face the Mets, who probably won their only game on a homestand this week. They're gonna go 1-9 after walking off the Giants. Oh, the Mets are a disaster. It's going to be an interesting season for both these teams, but I want to end on two things. One, let's touch on this Ronald Acuna injury because it feels significant to me. I don't know if you guys saw the injury, but it feels significant to me. The Dodgers have to win multiple championships for all that money to make sense. I don't know, man. I don't know if I see that being a realistic option, but Ronald Acuna was exited the game today with what the Atlanta Braves termed as knee soreness. Now, if you watched the highlights and you watched how he gimped off the field, that did not look like some regular knee injury. That looked really significant. And again, I could be wrong. So let's take a look at this thing. Let's take a look at our Instagram post from just a few hours ago. So you guys can get a look-see and we can go over this like a family. No, it's a different knee. It's a different knee. He had surgery on his right knee, and this one he tweaked was his left knee. So let's go to the IG so we can get a look at it. This is from the 27-ounce Instagram account. By the way, if you're not following us on Instagram, please make sure you go do so right now. You see it scrolling at the bottom of the screen there. Go follow us on IG. Braves right fielder Ronald Acuna Jr. is going on the IL with left knee discomfort. Acuna said post game he wouldn't be surprised if he misses 1 month. You know what I mean? Well, I will have more on tonight's show exclusively on YouTube. So that injury felt significant to me. It doesn't feel like this is just a regular injury. It feels significant. I don't know if you guys agree, but just watching him crumple to the ground the way that he did, I thought he blew out his knee. It's not the same knee. It's the other knee. Razor said, yeah, he looks done. Yeah. Because I'm not going to lie to you. When I saw it, I'm like, I think what if you was sitting where I was sitting, no pun intended, because I'm always sitting, but that's here nor there. If you were sitting where I was sitting, it looks like he blew out his knee. Now I'm hoping it's just an MCL sprain. I'm hoping he just tweaked the meniscus. I'm hoping that it wasn't a significant injury because you already are without Spencer Strider. Austin Riley's been down for the last couple weeks. Like the Braves are going through it injury wise. And outside of the two blips on the radar screen in Colorado this weekend, Philly doesn't lose. So that's kind of crazy. But I just hope that they get it together, man. I just hope that they get it together. Because when they're right, that's one of the best teams in the game. This is not a knock on Acuna, but the Braves showed how meaningless he is to the team. Wow. That's not a bad point, man. It's not a bad point. And Alex Anthopoulos has even hinted at like, yo, we might trade him. This might be a thing that they do. Let me get your comment off the screen there. This might be a thing that they do. So to know that, this could be a thing that they do. If you're the Braves, the window might be closing faster than you anticipated. Now they're all in the contract for a while, but I would have to think that at some point you at least have to explore the idea of trading an Acuna, trading an Albies, or trading a Riley. So, but before we go, guys, I just want to put this statement up here from. Hold on. Let's have it scroll at the bottom so you guys can see it. Hold on 1 second. Let's get the full thing in here. But I think it's time for the Braves to at least consider, blowing it up. Not blowing it up, but retooling, and maybe trading Acuna is the way that you go about doing that. Maybe that's maybe that's how you go about doing that. Because it also seems like to me, and I don't know, I want to know what you guys think about this watching. It also seems like to me is he's not the type of guy that walks in a locker room and instills the kind of confidence you need for a team that you think has a shot to win the World Series. Because I look at him and I'm like, nah, you don't seem like you're that guy. But speaking of statements, let's read Ivan's statement. Ivan's in the chat, so he's gonna see this. But I just want to read it so you guys know. Ivan's statement. I apologize for not being available. For not being able to be available. I'm sorry, as often as I was in the first 2 months. But just know that 27 outs will continue to exist, and I'll be back better than ever. The time is the time when the time is right. I appreciate the love and the support that all of you have shown, that all of you have given Stefan and I. Excuse me, I'm butchering the shit out of this, but I have to read it because I want you guys to see it. So, giving Stefan and I, just know, so you guys can see that it's up there. This is coming from, the other half, the better half, because I wouldn't be doing this thing without him. We love you, brother. We're going to keep the seat warm for you. Ain't nobody going to take the seat. I won't allow that. I turn this mic off before somebody comes for the boy's seat. You know what I'm saying? So you got it right there. That's the statement from the horse's mouth. I figured I scroll it so you guys could see it. Uh, but if you guys enjoyed the show, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up, hit that share button, hit that like button, hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button. Let people know about tonight's show. And oh, Megan, we love listening to you guys every week at work. We appreciate that, man. We appreciate that so much. And thank you guys for being loyal to the channel. We ain't going nowhere though. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be here. Like I said, we gonna just keep the seat warm for the boy, man. He'll be back. He'll be back. But before we roll, I just want to give you guys a chance to look at these socials again. You know what I mean? Shout out to everyone who tuned in tonight. You did a great job holding it down on your. Nah, man, that was, man. If nerves were real, but we did the damn thing tonight. So we're gonna ride out like we always do, baby. We're gonna play this theme song. We're gonna dance in our proverbial, you know what I mean? Our seats, in my case. We're gonna dance. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna do what it do. And as the great Martin Lawrence once said, we ain't got to go home. We got to